fellow like-minded psychopath on the show.
Constantly having to block people that are just trying to run through your face.
It's so great to talk about football and just like ignore the quarterbacks down here because he's usually the most important.
Schooling was always what I focused on first.
Steven was the same way.
The opposite.
Man, what am I doing? This sucks. The position is just pain.
I had nerve damage in my hand for 12 weeks, 10 weeks. If you had to make a Mount Rushmore of fullbacks, who would they be?
My brother and my cousin, texted me immediately, and they're like, "You're not going to New Orleans?" And I'm like, "What?"
Viva la fullback. Morning, tailgaters. Glad to have you guys back this week. Not the game we were looking for, but the sky is not falling, although a lot of Gamecock fans thinks it is. We're at a point right now, I guess, kind of like last year where we didn't start out hot, but we kind of hit our, we got into rhythm when we needed to get into the rhythm, and that was, right before really the LSU game,
right?
Which is about kind of the same segment that we're in right now, the season. So the first quarter's down 2-1. Very easily. I had it in my books that we were going to be 3-0 up to this point, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So
I think just the amount of hype that we had kind of throughout the whole entire offseason and then throughout this entire week, with Diego talking shit and saying it was a circled game and then saying that Dylan Stewart is, whatever. The amount of hype that was leading up to this game and for us to kind of, for all intents and purposes, lay an egg. It's just, I think that's why everybody thinks the sky is falling.
yeah, I mean, it's a long freaking season. The SEC's tough. That was
No doubt.
one of the 8 games we got to play in the SEC this year, so we could very easily, flip the script and go 7-1 in the SEC play and play for the SEC championship game, and still got a lot of football ahead of us, which is good. And that starts next week, heading to Missouri, playing for the Mayor's Cup. Drink and Beamer have a little bit of history. They like to jab at each other as well. So I think it's a great week for us to rebound and have a really big incentive to go out there and prove people wrong.
No, we need to. We need to. Absolutely. I mean, I know I saw that we're unranked now, but then you got a team like Notre Dame that's lost 2 games and they're still ranked. It's I don't understand the whole ranking process, but yeah, man, this is a big win or a big week for us, and hopefully all of our guys are back to healthy.
Yeah, but let's not we're not going to sit here and criticize people or the team in general, but like the elephants in the room, right? The offense has not played well 3 weeks in a row, outside of 2 really good first drives, like really good first drives. The offense has been pretty stale, and I don't know if it's Coach Spurrier was a king of repeat play calling. He was never shy on just dialing up what the hell was working. I don't know if we just need to go back through our openers. The openers work, or what it is, but we need to find creative ways to take shots, get the ball going downfield, let the quarterback break the pocket.
Yeah,
I
mean, I don't know if you saw. I wanted to send it to you and Dakota and Henry, but I think they said it was the last 5 games, or maybe it was just 7 games that we have not scored over 17 offensive points, dating back to last year.
I did not know that. I mean, we played some pretty good teams at the end of last year.
Yeah,
So, I mean, 17 points just generally was like when I was playing in Buffalo, that was the marker. We needed to score over 17 points to be in a good offensive position. But we got to figure it out on offense. I mean, Lenoris isn't playing great. He's not playing terrible. Rasul had a good bounce back game. Harbor still has decent output. The defense, first half played well. Second half just kind of died out. Having possession has been a thing of worry through these first 3 games. We've been teams that we've played have had the ball 10 minutes longer than us
Jesus.
in each game, which kind of goes into sustaining drives, too many 3-and-outs. We talked about it off air before we started, but we turned the ball over 4 times. We threw 2 picks and fumbled twice. Turnover ratio -3. You have, I think your chances of winning are like 5%. So
It's hard. It's hard to win in the SEC with that.
Yeah, but I think I was optimistic that our offense was going to bounce back against Vandy. And I mean, it's almost like you have to bounce back. You have to have a good offensive output game. Going in Missouri bounced back and played really well this past week too. So we got our hands full, and that kind of leads into the guest this week and kind of just the mentality, which you know all about. Yeah,
Yeah.
that fullback mentality, baby. Bring your
Yeah.
freaking lunch pail. I think that's the game we're going to have this week against Missouri. Missouri likes to run the ball. Not having Lenore's potentially means we're going to have to run the ball too. It's going to be a time of possession game, field position game. I know Luke is getting kind of absolutely obliterated in on social media right now. But Luke, I mean, I thought played a decent game. He controlled the ball, completed a bunch of passes, had us moving forward. Um, those turnovers kill us.
And I just want to mention something real quick. I've talked with a bunch of people on social media. They sending me DMs and all this other stuff, and not necessarily chirping me, but they're like, why do we have why is our offensive, scheme not suited towards our offensive players like Lenore's? Why is it not geared towards him? Or, when he gets hurt, why do we have a 6-year guy on here, not a 5-star transfer in? And I'm sitting there, my response is, yeah, I think these offensive coaches, I think they want to lose games. I think they want to not move the ball. That's
Yeah,
that's that's what they're paid to do. It's
yeah,
like there's a reason these guys are playing. There's a reason they're calling the plays that they're calling. At the end of the day, the sky's not falling.
you had spring ball, you had summer workouts, and then you had fall camp. Like
Right.
somebody's not going to magically have gotten better from fall camp to right now. And you want to put guys in positions to succeed. So, but let's go back into my boy Adam Prentice. So this week's
Yeah.
guest, fullback, grinder, was only at Carolina for a year, but had a huge impact in that year. Not only from his play standpoint to boost him to play in the NFL, but also his impact in the locker room. Like he was an immediate leader, um, just an all American guy.
Yeah, like you said, man, he's a bring your lunch pail to work kind of guy. I mean, I got that vibe just from being on the podcast with him, virtually. So, yeah, you could definitely get that vibe, and I think you're 100% right. That's what we got to get back to doing. I think all the glitz and glamour and all the hype and all the other bullshit, I think that was a huge distraction for us, and maybe this was a big wake up call for us.
Yeah, but also like let's this is a big week for the boys too. Episode 50. We did it.
Holy hell,
We've arrived.
five
And,
zero. I'll be
I'll
damned.
still sit there and say it's a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. But glad to have the team we have to do it. Obviously, Dakota, I know you're back there listening in somehow. Thank you for all your hard work getting us here. And then we got Henry Holden Point on social media. So we got a good little team and very thankful for them and kind of trying to make you and Mai's job seamless.
And don't forget all the smart ass banter between us and all the group texts. It's what keeps us young, Pat.
No doubt, no doubt. But truly think this is going to be a game where we're going to have to go in there and take it from them. It's going to be a physical line of scrimmage game. So Adam Prentice would be proud if we can come out, go to Missouri, and come back with a win.
Yep, absolutely. I can't believe it's been 50 episodes. I'll be damned. But yeah, you're 100% right, man. We gotta bring the lunch pail to Missouri.
Make sure you go check us out on YouTube, on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast or watch your podcast. And then make sure you follow us on social media. We do giveaways and all that good stuff. So don't miss out.
Tailgate Talks is proudly presented by our title sponsor, Greens Beverages, South Carolina's go-to spot for all things beer, wine, and spirits.
Whether you're stocking up for the tailgate, the back porch, or the big Gamecock win, Greens has the best selection at unbeatable prices.
Visit greensbeverages.com to find their nearest location. They have a ton of them, and load up before kickoff.
Big cheers and even bigger victories this fall. Thanks to our friends at Greens Beverages, who've been keeping Steven and I hydrated since 2007.
All right, Gamecock fans, this season we're raising a glass to bold flavors and even bolder conversations. Tailgate Talks is fueled by Bullet Bourbon, the official bourbon of backyard grills, pregame huddles, and postgame victory toast. Whether you're sipping it neat or mixing up Gamecock-style old-fashioned, Bullet's smooth finish keeps the tailgate vibes rolling. So pour one, press play, and let's talk some football. Bullet Bourbon, Frontier Whiskey for Gamecock Nation.
All right, Gamecock fans, we are here with arguably the greatest
Say
guest
it.
ever.
I was about to say it. Say it, Pat. Just go ahead and say it.
Fellow fullback, probably has all the arthritis to tell you about it too, even as a young lad. But Adam, appreciate you joining us, Steven and I.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's I remember, and I know it's gotten worse, but when I was finishing playing, like fullbacks were slowly. I mean, everybody calls it, yeah, you're a dinosaur, you're the dying breed. Yeah, I get high schools don't really run fullbacks anymore. Not many colleges run fullbacks anymore. But if you still look at steadily, probably over the last 2 decades, look at an NFL roster, there's between 10 and 15 fullbacks kind of scattered throughout NFL rosters. So although everybody thinks we're going away, you look at the playoff teams, almost all of them eventually have a fullback.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite stats that comes out every year is when they show the teams that are in the playoffs that use a fullback, and it's usually about 75% of them, if not more,
Yep.
have one, and you're like,
That's pretty wild.
Well, I mean, you got to think.
I never even realized that. But I mean, also, I mean, Pat, you played a lot of special teams, right?
That's what I was going to say. Kind of the versatility. And I know Adam's probably in his 4 years so far in the NFL, he's probably been equally as versatile as what I was during my 10-year career. But I mean, playing some halfback, we need to play halfback, pass protection, playing on all 4 special teams phases, being able to be looped in and be the F tight end or even the Y tight end in some sets if somebody gets dinged. I mean, we are the quarterback. Yeah, quarterback, I get it. You have to be very smart and you have to know what everybody's doing all the time. But the F position is the adjuster. I don't know if you're called the adjuster in your system, but you got to know 11 personnel, what the F's doing, just in case, God forbid, they call the wrong play with the wrong personnel in there. And you're like, wait, you want me running a slant route on a nickel? Let's go. That's party. Yeah. And then even like 12 personnel and being able to kind of motion from backfield down to the line of scrimmage and different stuff like that. So glad to have you on and have a fellow like-minded psychopath on the show.
You're definitely psychopath for sure.
All right, well, take us let's go into growing up. You grew up just outside of Fresno?
Yeah, I grew up in Fresno. Both my parents were teachers and educators. Grew up going to my mom's a kindergarten teacher most of her career. So I started going to –
God bless her.
Man,
it's
tough. There was a couple times in college that I when I was home on break, I'd go into the classroom, kind of help, and I'm like, man, you do this every day? Like, this is insane. I was so exhausted when I'd go home. So I grew up going to elementary school with her, and then my dad was a high school counselor. So I switched and went to his middle school. They're in different feeder schools, but went to that middle school and then his high school. But my brother and I grew up going to our Clovis High football games when we were little kids, and because my dad was working there, and so that was having that tradition already instilled in us as we grew up, playing there, and it was awesome. And then I ended up going to CSU and playing football. I had wrestled and played football, did a little bit of baseball and track.
Yeah,
high school.
We talk about that all the time, kind of multi-sports and developing those skills at a young age, and then all the way up even through high school.
Definitely.
They're inevitable in creating a true athlete and sustained success over time.
Yeah, and I wish, I don't know, some of the youth sports now are getting away from that, which I do not like. They're becoming too specialized and kind of burning kids out, in my opinion. Like
you're 100% right.
You should be trying anything and everything you want to when you're a little kid and focusing on one sport during that season and then going to the next one.
Yep.
And as you get older and you start figuring out what you like, then specialize a little bit, but you still there's so many sports that it's always the football and wrestling tandem that I think is the most
two leverage sports and conditioning and physicality
but I mean even track and field with just the speed training and all that, that's something I wish I would have done a little earlier just to have that extra benefit. But it still helps, but it's like, man, go do anything, go do these other sports, go try. Like, but
Dude, I see it all the time, man. Just doing all the quarterback training down here in Tampa, man. It's some of these parents, and I tell them like, your kid is 9 years old. Let him be a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Let him like take him fishing. Go jump on a trampoline. Do something.
yeah,
I just
It's okay if he misses this tournament or this practice.
yeah,
Or
like
this game. Like,
he doesn't need to go to 3 football practices or baseball practices every day. Like,
yeah,
go to one practice, be committed to one thing at a time, and then go play in the dirt, go play backyard
yeah,
football. Like,
a
go,
100%.
like, I mean, that was something growing up. Like, I mean, which I was very fortunate now. Like, my parents were very adamant, especially my dad. Like, because football wrestling season always overlapped with football season, especially in high school.
mhm.
And it really helped that he was working at my high school because he knew a lot of the coaches personally and was able to like, no, this is how we're going to do it. But it was like, you're playing football. Once football season's done, then you can go to wrestling. Because they're always trying, oh, come to this tournament on the weekend. Come to this.
Right.
My dad's like, you're playing football right now. Like, we're not thinking about anything else. Once you're done with that, then move on, be committed to that, and then go to the next thing. But yeah, it's just like, but we would do that, and it's like, man, on the weekends, anytime it rained, oh, let's go to the park, let's go play football. Put on the oldest clothes we can get, and just go get as muddy as can be, and then come home and watch my mom's face just shaking her head and laughing at us, and we're like, oh, who won? All right, yeah,
But there is so much like growth and development in like unstructured sports and just going out there and like rough, tough play and like, I mean, we're guilty of it. I mean, Weston's our oldest, but he's 9, and like when he has buddies over and they're playing in the backyard, they're like, I don't remember this at all, and it probably was the same when I was a kid, but like arguing over rules, like, hey, no, you were out of bounds. No, that was pass interference, and it's just like I kind of want to like open up the door and be like, shut the up and just play. Like, God bless kids. Like, stop arguing, just play, have fun. Doesn't care.
yep,
Nobody cares who wins. Don't kill each other, but try to, because that's the
yeah.
fun in it.
Well,
Right.
that's exactly how my brother and I are about 2 years, a little less than 2 years apart.
Mm.
So it was like we'd go out and play football by ourselves. So it was either 1-on-1, and sometimes if our dog was out there, she'd be getting in the way, and so it was
Yep.
like an extra defender.
Yep.
Or we go have a home run derby in the pool with a wiffle ball,
Yep.
or doing WWE in the pool, playing football in the pool. Like, no, the same thing. We start arguing about who won, or he'd get mad, or I'd get mad. And my dad would come out and be like, "Hey, stop arguing. The neighbors don't want to hear you argue. Do you want to come inside?" I'm like, "No." Okay, then be quiet. It's all the same. You're just arguing about stupid stuff, and it's like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You're just having fun and playing around. Like,
Yeah, I mean, but the competition piece to it, I mean, as annoying as it is, hey, I won, you won, but it is like teaching them, instilling in them like the ultimate goal is to win. Winning makes everything better. Like I used to joke around in Buffalo, like Buffalo's a tiny town and really Bills and Sabres are all that's there. Like you win and you're going to get ice in your water. If you don't win, there ain't no ice in your water. Like it kind of ebbs and flows.
yes.
But let's divert a little bit here and why you walked on at Colorado State.
Yep.
No scholarship offers coming out of school. Any smaller schools looking at you? Or
I had a D3 offer to Cal Poly to wrestle.
Mhm.
That was a partial. So I went on my visit, and gave him the courtesy of taking the time to visit. But
Mhm.
I knew I'd want to play football from the jump.
Yep.
But so then I went to Cal Poly, did that visit, knew I didn't want to wrestle, and then my other option, I would say my main option at the time, really my only option, best option, was RPI, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. Basically, Cal Poly is a D1, but
Yep.
RPI in upstate New York is a D3 version of Cal
Oh
Poly.
gosh, from Fresno to upstate New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus.
So we grew up going to New York a few times and been upstate. And like, I love New York, but I'm like, man, it's just different. And we went. I was playing linebacker in high school, and a little bit of tailback, primarily linebacker, Sam linebacker. So I was going there to play linebacker, and I went on my visit. It was great. Knew the schooling. Schooling was always what I focused on first. Like I was did engineering, so like I wanted to be good.
Steven was the same way.
Yeah.
The opposite.
And I'm sure, and a lot of that's having two teachers as parents.
Yep.
Like that's
Right.
but it's very necessary. I wish kids would be more focused on that now.
100%.
That's another rabbit hole. But anyways, so I went there visiting. It was great, and I was planning on going there. And then my high school coach had saw that Coach Bobo was coming from Georgia to go to CSU, and knew they used a fullback and, converted different guys to play fullback. And so he had reached out, and they're in the middle of transitioning over and kind of evaluating what they, had guys at the position, who they could convert, whatever. And so I ended up going out for a late visit for the spring game, and it was right after the RPI visit that next weekend. And, that was my only D1 opportunity. I knew it was going to be a walk-on. And I remember my dad and I just kind of saying, like, all right, let's just go do it. They were kind enough to wait for you to finish wrestling season, and kind of just figure all that stuff out. Like, let's just go and take a visit and, like, see what happens. And, man, I remember stepping on that campus, and I was like, wow, this is one of the most beautiful campuses I've seen. And, like, this could be a really fun place to play football and just be a part of this culture and this atmosphere here. And I remember sitting in the stands with my dad watching the spring game, and he kind of looks at me and he goes, well, what do you think? And I was like, I think I want to play here. And he's like,
yeah,
right,
sign me up.
you better go tell him, after the game when you talk to him. I was like, all right. And, the rest is history. But, yeah, so I went there and walked on. After that first year of getting my butt kicked, because I never played fullback until I got to college. But I knew I was, coming.
You figured it out pretty quick.
Yeah, I'd say I was telling somebody this the other day. It took about a good 2 years of just me getting my ass kicked and just getting put on my back, and I'm like, man, what am I doing? This sucks. Why am I doing?
I mean, it's so much different than linebacker. I mean, and essentially you're both delivering blows, but when you're fullback, you kind of are like bracing and also like chopping your feet afterwards, like always like hitting through contact. Where linebacker, you're trying to run through shit and a little bit reckless. So.
Yeah, no. So it took about a couple of years, and I was, I figured it out. I had some really good help and coaches and guidance along the way. But yeah, so I played that. I was redshirt that first year, true redshirt, and then that second year, a week before our first game, I blew out my knee.
Oh gosh!
And I had a medical redshirt, and I was named. So I was named the starter, got put on scholarship, and then I blew out my knee right after that. So fortunately, it happened in that sequence, or else I probably wouldn't have gotten the scholarship till later.
Yeah, no doubt.
So fortunately that worked out that way. So then I was a medical redshirt that second year, and then, played 3 more years at CSU. And then, that second medical was how I ended up being able to transfer to South Carolina and play that last year and end up there. But
yeah, well, I mean, you've stepped into, I mean, obviously you guys did a little bit of research on Bobo and knowing that he was going to engage the fullback position and kind of that there was a home for you. And then following him to Carolina, did like as soon as he took the were you guys like a package deal? That like did he take the job because you were coming?
No, I wouldn't say that, but I knew once he left, I knew that probably was going to be an opportunity for me to go over there, and I just knew that I could have stayed at CSU, and I gave I gave Coach Adazio, the courtesy of meeting with him and talking with him and, the new staff. But I ultimately felt, going with Coach Bobo and knowing that system and being comfortable with that system and knowing how much I was going to be used. And that would be my best opportunity to get better tape and, try to play in the league. And, being in that pro style offense and has helped me a lot.
And that was COVID year, right? That was
oh my gosh.
Yeah. Talk about that.
That was insane. So so we decided to go to Carolina. I went in January. So we had off season, started school, off season workouts, whatever. And I think we had, our spring break was like middle of March. We had maybe like a week or two of spring ball in. And then it was like we had spring break, and then we were going to come back and finish like the last couple weeks. And I'd gone on a trip. I was in Europe, and in the middle of the London, or staying at the airport, or a hotel at the airport in London, getting ready to go to like Scotland or something like that. And I remember my phone blowing up like middle of the night. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? And like mom was like, turn on the TV. What? Turn on the TV, and it's like Trump issuing the travel ban. And I was like, oh crap, like this is legit. It's a real thing. And so then I was like, but at first I was like, man, the UK is not closed yet. Like I can still go over there. I'll be fine. And like, nah, you're coming back. Like, so I come back. I had a quarantine in my apartment for a week. And then so I came back, and then we got our spring break extended another week.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I had a week. Now I got another week to just chill after this trip. Sweet. So then I'm chilling in my apartment. Had a quarantine for a week or 10 days, whatever it was, and then after that, it was like, all right, you're kind of just everything's postponed until further notice. And then, I transferred with Colin. Colin and I were staying together, and he's from Spartanburg. And so fortunately, his parents, kind of took us all in, and we were staying up at his parents' house during that time. So after my quarantine, went up there and stayed with them for a while. And then it was just like, man, looking back, that was some of the funnest times. We'd get up, Colin and I would go work out, play catch, lift. We'd come back, we'd go swimming, we'd just hang out, watch movies at night, do the same thing the next day, just kind of like, all right, let's see what happens, see when we got to go back. But man, that was crazy.
Where'd you live? Like the one you're here, what apartment were you in, or did you have a house?
No, we were in an apartment. It was Indigo at Brickworks.
No
Uh,
idea. It wasn't
might have been,
Olympia
I
Mill.
think it was
No, it
pretty,
was
I think it was pretty new. It was like let me think. Man, it's been a while. We
Was it
like
downtown? Was it like close to Main Street, or was it over by the football facility?
No, it was you had to like cross the river, and it was kind of like there's a Publix across the river. Um, I'd have to let me see. I can't think off the top of my head.
Public. So it was in West Columbia, or it was in Casey, probably.
Yeah, Casey, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so we stayed over there. That was a good spot, but man, I'd say that's the only knock on my experience in South Carolina is that I didn't get to experience it in its full breadth of non-COVID. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I think they only allowed about 20,000 that year,
Mhm.
and as you know, it sold out that 20,000 every week,
Yeah.
and it was rocking. I'm like, man, I wish I would have seen it at its. I think wasn't it like 100 or 90 something.
I think they're close to 90
nice.
now. And then when
Yeah.
they redo all the renovations and all that stuff, it's going to look like a whole different place. But no, I mean, as you know, just in your one short year here, and like the weird process, the weird thing that you had to deal with COVID, and just like it being a weird year. It's a special place. The fans here are incredible.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Campus is beautiful. Um, I mean, shoot, and the facility was only like 2 or 3 years old probably when you were
Yeah,
there. It was like a brand new facility.
I think it was the second year.
Yeah.
I think that was the second year. That was the other thing. Like, I didn't get to experience Willie B at its fullest, but I also didn't have one class in person.
Oh yeah.
All my classes were virtual, and it's originally they weren't. They were virtual because I was taking engineering classes and we practiced in the morning, and all my classes were offered in the morning.
Yeah.
So I had to do a kind of independent study virtual deal, anyways. And then COVID hit, and then it was like, okay, everything's virtual. So I mean, I didn't meet anybody outside of guys on the team really,
Yeah.
and then I didn't go to one class in person. It just really sucked. Like I wish I could have done it in
Yeah,
person.
that whole thing was an absolute disaster and shit show.
Well, it sounds like
That's
when you're done with your 10, 15, however long you want to play in the NFL, you need to venture back here and get the real
Oh,
experience. Stephen
absolutely.
and
Man,
I will have
when
a
I'm
great
done playing and I
setup
come
for you.
back, I'm tailgating. I'm doing the full
Yeah.
thing. Like I'm
Yeah.
doing everything.
real quick, man. I know I said something beforehand about your old teammate Anthony. I don't want to butcher his last name, but it's
Oh, please try. Please try.
Clonicus.
Sure.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. But anyway, so I told him that we were having you on the podcast, and he goes, "Yeah, he left, before I got there. But I heard that their teams were absolutely crazy as shit." He said that after a game, you guys had a full-on scrimmage, like on a Sunday, like the next
Oh.
day, and he said that he heard like the players were fighting the coaches.
Oh that is. I kind of
Oh,
forgot
sounds
about
like it
that.
happened.
Did that happen? Man,
It
so
did happen.
yeah, so there's a lot more backstory. He's not wrong. What he said is not the stuff he said is not wrong, but there's a lot of backstory to why it got to that. And it was I don't know. It was second to last. Was it second to last game? No. It was the week. It was the week of the last game. It was during Thanksgiving break, and we were playing like I forget who it was. It was a league game. They were top 25. It was either like Utah State or Boise, somebody like that. we played one of them at the end, and one of them was usually ranked by the end of the year, top 20, low 25. And we had played, and we had had no school because it was Thanksgiving break. Coach had given us a schedule, and it was a longer schedule than we would normally have because we didn't have school. It was kind of camp-ish, but not camp. But they just wanted to keep guys busy and stay out of trouble, not having school and all that stuff. So, I mean, it was a Sunday, and it was a short week. We played on a Thursday or Friday. So Sunday was kind of our Monday, whatever. So we come in, have this meeting, and a few of the guys decided that they really didn't want to practice and play this game. They wanted to go home for Thanksgiving. So they, passed around a petition and had guys start signing the petition to give to coach that, hey, we don't want to play. We just want to go home and not play this game. Like, we don't want to be here.
Holy shit.
And yeah, and of course my name got put on the top of the list, knowing that, not from me, but knowing that guys, especially young guys, when they saw my name on the list, they were going to sign it. So my mom and my brother had come for the week before. So we were at breakfast on Sunday after church. And I get a call from one of my good buddies, and like, hey, like, you really need to come to the locker room, come back to the stadium. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, you need to come back. Like, there's a petition going around that's got your name on it, and people are signing it. They don't want to practice. I'm like, shit, here we go. So I come back. I try to figure out where this petition is. Disappears. I don't know where it went. Disappears. I'm like, of course it does.
The governor.
Yes. I'm pissed. I foaming at the mouth. I'm so mad. So I call a team meeting. I get everybody in there, no coaches, me, and I get up there, and I'm like, don't you effing co-sign for me. Like, don't do that. If I'm going to sign something, I'm going to sign something. Don't co-sign for me to get other people to sign something. Like, that's horrible. That's wrong.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're done with this. It's squashed. I don't care where it is. We're done with it. We are practicing this week. If you don't want to be here, don't come to practice. We're done. Squashed it. And then just because I knew that there was going to be talk amongst the locker room, all that stuff, I went up to Coach Boba and I said, look, here's the deal. This is what happened. This is what was going on. I didn't want you to hear about it from everybody else. Then it'd be a whole issue. I squashed it. It's done. Here's a heads up. Well, he didn't. He took it and kept going.
I'm sure he's pissed. He's fuming.
I'm like, okay, do I tell him? Do I not tell him? I was kind of going back and forth. I'm like, he's going to get wind of it and be like, what the heck? So I don't know. It was going to happen regardless. So we came back down to practice, and let's see, what was it for? So then we had a team meeting. So he had found, in the meantime before practice, he had found the petition. Well, he started reading the petition and was like, so-and-so, did you sign this? Yes, sir. All right, go home. So-and-so, did you sign this? Yes, sir.
Shit.
Go home. Start sending everybody home. Well, then we come back, and so then everybody else that didn't get sent home goes to practice, full pads. We're at practice, getting ready to go. Right, finished, did walkthroughs, did everything, getting ready to warm up. All right, everybody back in the team room. I'm like, gosh dang, here we go. Go back in the team room. He brings everybody that just kicked out back in. He's like, so-and-so, do you think we should let them practice and play this week? Yes, sir. All right, everybody's back at practice. And then we proceeded to have like a 3-hour full padded scrimmage.
Oh, God.
And it was just, everybody's yelling at everybody. People were fighting. Like, it was a disaster. And
that's what you call shit hitting the fan.
Yeah, it was crazy. And that was one of the wildest things I've ever been part of. And then it was like, I mean, we normally practice kind of middle of the afternoon anyways. I mean, we didn't finish, like, the stadium lights had to come. We were practicing in the stadium. Stadium lights came on because it was dark, and it was crazy. And then the next day, you're like walking in the building, you're just kind of like just head on a swivel, like,
do we have to do that again?
Who's gonna yell at? Pissed. But man, that was
he
wild.
he said to ask you about that. Then he said to ask you about Lucky Joe's in Old Town Fort Collins.
Man, Old Town Fort Collins is one of my favorite places, and that's part of the reason where I live in Cheyenne. I'm about 45 minutes from Fort Collins still, and my wife's from Fort Collins, grew up in Fort Collins, and man, it's just a cool place. Like that, I think, if I'm not mistaken, downtown Disney modeled their downtown after Old Town Fort Collins.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's cool.
It's just cool restaurants, cool little bars, and then Old Town Square. so Lucky Joe's is in Old Town Square. There's kind of a collection of bars that, college bars that people would go to. I personally didn't go to I didn't go out much anyways in college because I was an engineering student. I just wasn't a party guy anyways, so it's like I didn't have time to do any of that. But I did go to Lucky Joe's a couple times after I was done in college and had the time. Cool, definitely the best one in Old Town.
Yeah, Steven and I didn't really go to the bars and do that kind of stuff either. We were both
Dialed in schoolwork.
engineering majors and extremely dialed in. No, we graduated. We did good enough in school. I mean, I graduated with a 3.3. I bet you were probably close to a 3.0, Steven.
Yeah, that was good. That's good.
I have no idea what the hell I graduated with, to be honest with you.
Hey, you got the paper. They got the paper. There's all that matters. There's no number on it.
No doubt.
We talk a lot about defining moments when it comes to football.
One choice can change the entire outcome of a game or season.
Moments that seem small often make a substantial impact in the long run, and that is true in all facets of life.
Like whom you choose to bank with?
Picking the right bank can make a huge difference in finding success.
That's why you need to elevate your financial game with Founders Federal Credit Union. Their rates are always competitive, and they've got trusted financial tools that help keep your financial goals on track.
Don't forget their service to their membership and community is unrivaled.
Get in the game today. Swing by a Founders office near you or visit foundersfcu.com to apply for membership. Founders is federally insured by the NCUA. Membership qualification is required. Looking for the perfect spot to unwind? Steelhead Brewing in Casey has you covered. Whether you're craving a refreshing craft beer or just a great time with friends and family, Steel Hands has it all. With a variety of craft beers, spacious outdoor beer gardens, and a delicious food menu, there's something for everyone. Plus, join them for free live music every Thursday through Sunday. Visit steelhandsbrewing.com to see their lineup of upcoming events or host your own. Handforce and Casey and voted best local brewery again this year. Go visit steelhandsbrewing.com. Hey Gamecocks, at Granger Rowings, style starts with you. From custom fits to emerging brands, they offer a curated selection of women's and men's clothing for work, weekends, and every moment in between. Their stylists take the time to understand your lifestyle, then help you build a wardrobe that fits your needs and feels like you. Shop in store, downtown on Main Street and Trenton Plaza, or book a fitting online at grangerowings.com. Granger Owings, where personal style meets personal service. All right, well, let's talk about, so when you got here to Carolina, COVID year, you blocked for Kevin Harris, who had a freaking killer year, and you guys played 8 games that year?
I think it was 10.
Maybe 10, yeah. I mean, Kevin Harris had a killer year.
All SEC games.
Yeah, and Marshawn, were you with Marshawn where he tore his ACL during?
Let me think. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Marshawn was an absolute freak.
Crazy.
So I came and coached at Carolina the year after you left.
That's right. Yep, I remember that. And
I got there, and I remember everybody was still talking about you, all the guys in the locker room. Man, we love watching you play in the NFL. You would have loved Adam. He was a freaking bulldog, just like you. So I missed you.
I know.
But we do have some crossover with some of the guys that you played with that I know pretty well. I mean, Kevin was a stud. He's a freaking little bulldozer too.
Oh my gosh.
He is rocked up.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Marshawn's just a freak athlete. He's a good
twitchy. Dude. He's I
remember the first time I saw him play, and I'm like, dude, you shouldn't be moving like that. How in the world is that possible? But yeah, I was able to see him because he's in Green Bay now. I was able to see him when we played Green Bay this year and talk to him a little bit.
Unfortunately he transferred out of here, man. I wish he would have stayed and did his full time here. He's a special player. He ended up going from South Carolina to Southern Cal. Yep. I think that Southern Cal money kind of spoke a little bit. I think there was a little bit of a transfer portal, probably different transfer portal than you experienced.
Yeah, definitely.
That he experienced.
Yeah, it was like, hey, you could come in. Then when I went to Carolina too and transferred, that first semester I was technically not on scholar. I was a walked on that because we had to wait till that year cycled out of those past scholarships. But then I got put on that fall and it was fine. But yeah, no, it's there was no no money, no nothing. Come just hey,
You,
come
you
play.
mean you didn't get
I didn't think
500
it.
grand to transfer to South Carolina?
Say it again.
You didn't get 500 grand to transfer to South
Oh
Carolina?
man, I wish.
Got a high five.
Man, seriously. No, I remember talking to my family, when I was kind of contemplating what I wanted to do, and it was tough for me to leave CSU. I had put a lot of time and effort and just soul into that university and that program that it was really hard to leave. But I was glad I did, and it was definitely paid off for me. But yeah, I remember talking to them. They're like, man, why wouldn't you? Like, you have this opportunity. You've always talked about wanting to play in the SEC and have that play against that type of caliber of teams. When you were younger, like, go do it. Like, go chase that and just see what happens. Like, you never know if you can do it until you try.
Well, I mean, playing on when you look at all the stats from NFL drafts and NFL rosters, I mean, there's a lot of truth to playing in the SEC and how it translates over to the next level.
It's about as close you can get to playing in the league.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing against like 30-40% of a locker room is guys that played in the SEC, so you're playing against them just at a younger age and watching them develop. Well, tell us about the kind of transition from South Carolina into the NFL. You weren't a combine guy, you were a pro day guy, right?
Yeah, pro day.
And then you signed to Denver, did training camp your rookie year in Denver, ended up getting released, and then signed and just finished up your fourth year down in New Orleans. Tell us about kind of the process of getting signed, being in Denver, and then getting released and signing in New Orleans.
Yeah, so I had signed as a free agent with Denver. I did have the opportunity to go sign as a free agent to New Orleans as well. Chose Denver just for my love of Colorado and a lot of that having been at CSU and just being familiar with that area. Went to Denver, was there through training camp, got cut after that last preseason game, and they were going to bring me back practice squad. And I remember, after I got cut, it was like, all right, you got to wait the 24-hour waiver period. So I was in the hotel room, and I, kind of, washed clothes, packed up my stuff just in case, I had to go somewhere else or just in case for anything. And they're like, all right, you're staying, you can come back and get on the bus and, bring you back and sign your Peace Squad contract. I said, sweet. So I remember I'm on the bus, like pulling into the facility, and I'm texting my family, like, about to sign my practice squad contract, like, here we go. And my brother and my cousin, texted me immediately, and they're like, you're not going to New Orleans? And I'm like, what?
They knew before you. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I called Joel, and
Joel was your agent. Is he still your agent?
Yeah, he's still my agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I called Joel, and I was like, hey, my family's saying I got picked up by New Orleans. And he's like, actually, I called him, but I went to our player director, Ray Jack, and I was like, hey, dude, like, I think I got picked up by New Orleans. Like, I don't really know. And so he's like,
I don't want to sign anything if that's the case.
Yeah, he's like, let me go check. So he goes talk to you. Oh, yeah. So then I'm calling Joel, and I was like, hey. And he's like, no, this is legit. Like, and I was like, all right, sweet. So I go up, and I'm like, well, hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
Appreciate the offer. I got a better one, though. See you guys later.
And then Joel was like, hey, yeah, you got to go right now. And I was like, oh, okay. But then that transition was even weirder. So it was like, okay, I had my truck out there. So it was like, well, I got to leave right now. Like, I packed up. I just need to get in the truck and go. Well, that was when Hurricane Ida hit New Orleans. So they were all in Dallas because of the hurricane. They'd all evacuated Dallas. They canceled their last preseason game, and they were in Dallas. So, coaches called me and was like, hey, like, we're in Dallas. Like, we gave the guys a week off to kind of get their families and everybody over here. We're staying in the Four Seasons in Dallas. Like, just come here, get here when you can. We'll put you in a hotel and just take your time and be safe and all that. It's like, cool. So I drive down there. I'm staying in a hotel for a week. I get transferred over the Four Seasons, and then we proceed to stay in the Four Seasons for a month in Dallas until Ida cleared up. And then I was on P Squad until Thanksgiving that year, and then I started playing. But that was my first game, Thanksgiving game. But man, I was there, and it's just like you're drinking through a fire hose. I didn't know where anything was. I didn't know who people were.
New Orleans is a strange town too. Like, especially your first time being there. Like,
oh man,
what's wrong with you? What kind of drugs are you on?
Yeah, we came back. So, I got there in August, end of August, early September. I think we were there till maybe mid-October, and then went there. They put me in a hotel for another month just because housing was crazy because of the hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in a hotel again for another month, and then, but man, I remember coming back and you just seeing the devastation, and you're just like, holy smokes! Like I'd never been in an area that had to worry about hurricanes, much less after when it hit. And you're just like, wow, like what a resilient town or resilient city to keep rebuilding and just trying to push through stuff like this. Because man, this is so tough to watch and see people struggle through that.
Yep. But when you was it Dennis Allen was in New Orleans? Was he the head coach in New Orleans the whole time?
No, so my rookie year was Coach Payton's last year.
Okay.
And then Dennis Allen took over that second through fourth year.
Yep.
So that was cool to be with Coach Payton and, just see his brainiac. Man, he's just such a smart guy.
We recorded an episode with Nate Atkins, who transferred in from East Tennessee State, ETSU in the Carolina just for 1 year, kind of similar to you, and then ended up he's going into year 3 of the NFL right now in Denver.
Yeah, no, he's a good player. I remember watching him when he was at Carolina, and then now that he's in Denver too. But so I was with Coach Payton for that 1 year, and then Dennis Allen the rest of the years.
Dennis Allen can draw up some pressures. Holy smokes!
Oh, geez. I used to dread, like, you talked about, I played a little halfback and a lot of
that third down blitz pro.
Man, dude, he'd do that double-A mug, guys on the edge, and you're shaking and choking, as they called it, and it's just like, holy smoke, and we were
were you a full scan team or are you a gap team?
We were a full scan.
Yep.
So we were a paint protection.
Yep.
And so we'd paint a mic, and then it's like, you got everybody else. And so you're just
wait, there's 6 of them.
You're just like, I don't know. Oh, it's crazy. And so that day when you get the third down, they start dialing that stuff up, and you're just like, oh man, here we go.
Yep.
But man, if you're able to
close the game down for you on the back end, Sundays,
you're able to pick that stuff up and see all that stuff every day. Man, you get in the game, it's like, man, I've seen this before. Okay.
Steven's probably least favorite meeting in all of football was my favorite meeting, and it was third down blitz pickup. Like I loved towards the tail end of my career, like my last 6 or 7 years. Like I used to love that. It was like a puzzle. Like how do you like what are they showing that's tipping off what they're going to eventually do? Where can we slide the line? Where can we mic to kind of alleviate? Because I mean, in a perfect world. I mean, the 5 offensive linemen get paid a shitload of money to pass protect. Like the running back gets paid to run the football. Like you don't want him blocking a linebacker if he doesn't have to block a linebacker.
No.
Remember, we had a center in. He only played a couple weeks for us because he was kind of a pain in the ass. But in Buffalo, he always wanted to protect himself, and he always wanted to be a part of the slide so that he was never stuck in a one-on-one. So he's putting the back on people, and I remember I had enough of it in one of our third down meetings, and I'm like, this is bullshit. You're 320 pounds. You block the linebacker. We want LaShawn McCoy out running a route against their Mike linebacker instead of having to block him. Let's be smart here.
Yeah.
We found creative ways to be able to get out because of kind of those deep thoughts and getting those triggers and stuff.
Yep. Yeah. No, last year we were jet protection.
Yep.
And so like more of a one side to a wrap. Mm-hmm. And man, that was a project in itself, just learning that.
It's a big learning curve, but I was in that system for 3 years.
So much easier, and it makes way more sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that. And then after that, I'm like, man, this is way easier. Oh yeah, bring all that crazy exotic stuff. I'm not even looking over there.
Yeah. If he runs, I'm going to the backside A gap, and I'm sitting and I'm waiting for that.
I just got to sit here and help the guard or the center coming back. Sweet, let's do it.
Yeah.
No, it's just so much easier. Because man, that used to be the hardest part is the third down stuff with paint protection and like game planning that week. And I'm like, I'm not even really worried about the fullback stuff because that stuff's pretty cut and dry and pretty easy. You're blocking this linebacker, sweet. Mm-hmm. But man, I would watch that third down tape so much because I would just be like, man, if I get in, I got to get this right. Mm-hmm. And man, it used to be such a headache just trying to figure that out because we'd have to make up all these new rules to solve all these different packages. But with the jet protection, it was like, man, it just works. Like maybe one of the packages you kind of had to make it a little adjustment, but
Who was the OC last year that you were doing that with?
Clint Kubiak.
Clint Kubiak. Yep, he's a Shanahan guy. I was
yeah.
with Kyle for 2 years, and then when I went and played for Brian Dayball, he was the OC up in Buffalo for 2 years. His stuff was all 2x2 or 3x1, different protections based on what the receiver formation was, and there was stuff jet protection that made more sense in 2x2 stuff, but his 3x1 stuff was really good from his protection stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, Steven. Sorry for boring you. You just sit back there and throw the touchdown.
This is all good shit, man. I love hearing it.
I mean, going back to Steven and I's college days, like Coach Spurrier obviously is an offensive mastermind. He did it for a long time at the highest level. But his run game was always pretty vanilla. I mean, in many ways.
You could say that.
And then when Sean Elliott came in, were you with Coach Elliott? Or no, he was at Georgia State when you got to South Carolina.
Yeah.
He's back there now. He's coaching tight ends. But when he came in and brought in some of his run game stuff, it really elevated us to the next level. And, I mean, Coach Spurrier, like, if somebody was dialing up pressures, we were just slide 90, slide 91. We were just full slide, gap back, go cut the edge, Steven quick game. So it was a whole new monster when he got to the NFL. You weren't just sliding every time you had a chance to.
Definitely not. Oh man, some exotics and just full slide left, full slide right. Good.
Yeah. We would when we had a bunch of teams, there's several teams in the NFL that dial up zero just so often. Third and medium, third and short, you're getting zero in 17 different ways. We probably had an answer similar to what you've seen before. Was we would get into one of those like 90 pros, we'd get into a true 7-man.
Yep.
And have the tight end block the widest, and then when he blocks the widest, the safety who has him in man
would
triggering and adding. So the tight end would sit block. He'd key the safety. As soon as the safety bit, he'd toss and just run right down the middle of the field, and it'd be a simple little dunk.
Yeah, we did that a few times, especially on like third down stuff or fourth down stuff. If we knew they were going to bring zero, we'd dial up some stuff like that, like knowing and expecting that that safety to be locked on the Y, and be like, all right, he triggers, like be ready for him to get shucked and then take him over while we throw it to the tight end. Like, all right,
One of my best plays when I was in Atlanta was a play where I actually missed my protection, or the guy added. We were in like we were in past 15 Bob.
Oh yeah.
So I had the Will linebacker, and the Will like came and closed down and like kind of got stuck behind the 3 technique.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I didn't see him. So I kept going on my route, and I think he like thought I got stuck somewhere. So he added, and he had me in man. I snuck out to the flat like a 45-yard pass.
That's
Everyone's
awesome.
like, how did DeMarco get so open? And I was like, it's because I missed my backer.
Yeah. Man, that one, those plays were fun because I mean last year they were coached like they called it a bloody flat. Like
go smash the guy in the face.
Smash this guy. He's gonna flow down and fill the hole so hard because we've been running the ball like crazy, and then just leak out. And if most we didn't, we ran that play a lot last year. I didn't get the ball in any of them, but we were hitting that backer so hard, and they were sucking down so tight that we were always
just right on the backside.
Yeah, we were always hitting the crossover top of it, and it was like, oh, there it goes, sweet, here we go.
Yeah, my dad would always get so frustrated on those plays. He'd be like, Pat, you were wide open in the flat. And it was like, well, Julio Jones, who's a lot better with the ball in his hand than me, was open on a drift. So I think Matt Ryan made the right call.
Yeah, no, there was a couple of times where it's like, oh man, they would kind of ignore me running into the flat or something. And it's like, but we'd still hit the receiver over the middle on the crosser. And I'm like, dude, I don't even care. We either just scored or we got a 40-yard gain. Like, sweet.
Yep.
Like, let's do it. We're staying on the field.
If I gain 40 yards, I'm not going to be able to play for like another 7 or 8 plays. I'm going to be so tired.
No, definitely. Yeah, I'd be the same. Like, coach, like, give me one, or like, give me something where I'm kind of just eye candy over here.
Well, so, I mean, we're different than most players on a football field. I say we. It's so great to talk about football and just like ignore the quarterbacks down here because he's usually the most important. I mean, nobody thinks about this, but fullback, like you're in one play, you're out two, you're back in one, you're in two, you're out. Like the running from the huddle to the sideline, like sprinting on and off the field is exhausting.
It's
I'm like, I
exhausting.
almost borderline wish I could play 12 plays in a row so I didn't have to
Yeah.
run all the way off the field and back
Oh,
on.
man. It's I sprint on and off every time, especially in college. And I remember like my buddies would all give me a hard time, like, "Oh, watch out, here he comes! He's just gonna run you over. You don't get out of the way." I mean, I still do that, but it's like I'm not going to be late to the huddle, and I'm not going to be the reason we get a penalty if I'm slow off the field. But man, it's just no, that sprint on the field is not easy.
Yeah, and then 21. So my last year in Atlanta was what was I forget the song. It was 2 Chainz or somebody, and it was a song that like
Oh,
mentioned 21. And
yes.
so like you run on the field like 21 personnel, and
Yeah.
I'd get to the
It's
huddle.
like
So
isn't it like it's like 21, can you do something for me or something like that?
yeah,
Yeah,
and
no,
then like
exactly.
you get the same stuff.
I think about that every time. I'm like, here we go. Oh man.
Tailgate Talks is powered by Lanier and Burroughs, South Carolina's premier accident attorneys. If you've been in a truck wreck, car crash, slip and fall, or suffered injury on the job, these guys have the experience to fight for the compensation you deserve. Founding partner Louis Lanier has been battling for South Carolina since 1974, and Shane Burroughs brings over 15 years of top-rated trial experience. Best part? They're Gamecocks, and they offer a free initial consultation and will come to you. Give them a call at 803-268-9800 or visit landblawfirm.com. Lanier and Burroughs, fierce advocates, local roots, proven results. Home Team Barbecue is fired up to take care of your tailgate and watch party needs this season. Home Team is known for its smoked meats, creative daily specials, and twists on Southern classic. Smoked wings, ribs, pulled pork sliders, barbecue nachos, or classic sides like mac and cheese and collard greens are the perfect feast to fuel your game day. Round up your friends and give Home Team Catering a shout at catering@hometeambarbecue.com or head to 5 Points for a frozen game changer cocktail and barbecue snacks to celebrate the next Gamecocks big win. Visit hometeambarbecue.com to check out the menu.
Tailgate Talks is brought to you by JCQ Farms, a proud South Carolina family farm rooted in tradition and built on quality. Whether it's their premium beef, farm fresh produce, or their signature smoked meats, JCQ Farms brings the taste of the South straight to your table. Perfect for your next tailgate, backyard barbecue, or family dinner. Remember, always support your American farms because they are drying out each day. Support local, eat better, and stock up for the season. JCQ Farms, where quality meets Carolina pride.
Gamecock Nation, it's time to elevate your outdoor space. Palm Casual Outdoor Furniture, Gamecock owned and operated, has you covered with locations all across South Carolina. Whether you're poolside, tailgating, or watching the Gamecocks dominate in your backyard, Palm Casual has the perfect setup for you. Visit them online at palmcasual.com and gear up for a fall filled with Gamecock victories. Cheers to a winning season from the DeMarco back porch, proudly furnished by Palm Casual.
All right, well let's talk about what's something about the fullback position that nobody outside the locker room would understand. Like what's some of the shit that we got to deal with in your opinion?
Oh man. I'd say just constantly having to block people that are just trying to run through your face. And just all the headaches, all the stingers, the just pain. I mean, the position is just pain. You either gotta love pain. What's up?
Yeah, what's your recovery kind of? What's your modality recovery schedule?
Yeah, so I would do, so if we had a Sunday game, Monday and Tuesday were our day offs. Monday, depending on the week, was usually a film and recovery and a lift. So I'd come in on Mondays, I'd tub, I'd lift, we'd watch tape, and then I'd get a massage. And then Tuesdays, I'd come in and do like an auxiliary lift, like just kind of a mobility, just kind of get loose kind of deal, and tub again, and then either cup or some other kind of training room recovery. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday after practice I would tub. Fridays were like a fast Friday, half Friday. So I would do practice, I would tub, do yoga, and then get another massage. And then usually on Fridays, depending on how I was feeling, sometimes I would dry needle. And then that way by Sunday came you get a little sore after the dry needle. So by Sunday it was out of the system. And then
I used to do Graston on my neck, shoulders, and lats, and then I would do cupping once or twice a week. I do dry needling like twice a week.
Is the dry needle, is that like acupuncture?
Yeah, but they have there's different ways to do it. So there's like a stem hook up to it too now. So it's
the stem stuff is legit,
which is good because I mean, when you do that acupuncture stuff and they hit something good, it's just like an instant release.
That was this year was the first time I really started doing that, and man, that was a huge difference. And man, there was sometimes though I'd get some of my calves, and they would just hit a nerve, and you just get that sharp jump,
jump you off the
dang it, man. But man, no, it's legit. You can, but like if you had a knot somewhere that couldn't get out with massage or whatever, it just hits that spot, and you get a few twitches, and then it just releases, and it's like magic.
Now, in season, I think I'm much like you. Where in season, a lot of guys like truly lift in season, where they kind of like take it off. They just do like true maintenance. I would imagine you're not one of those guys. Or do you get after it?
I get after it. Yeah. So I was lifting. Let's see. I was lifting. I was doing 3 days. I was doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Wednesday, Friday were technically like I guess only mandatory like structured ones. And then Monday was it was more of like, hey, if you're feeling all right, like lift. So depending on, I'd say 90% of the weeks I was lifting on Monday, unless I was real jacked up from the week. But yeah, so I was lifting 3 days, and then 3 structured days, and then the other 2 I was getting into kind of doing some kind of mobility, whether it's just rolling out or extra stretching or kind of some balance stuff. But I was always trying to do something.
You mentioned earlier stingers. Is that something that you've dealt with for a while, or is that a new thing? Or
no, I've only had like one in my career, but
I went through.
I've only had like one stinger and one concussion. My whole, one registered. I probably.
I guess they say every time you see stars
build up, like could be worse. I don't really want to know, but
I went through a phase, I think it was 2013 or 2014, where I got a stinger in like 8 straight games. And like the nerves, and it switched sides. So I'd get like, it'd be 3 weeks in a row on my right side, and then it would be left side and back to right. That ended up being what ended my career, was a stinger on the right side I had nerve damage in my hand for 10 weeks. Got an epidural shot and all that shit. I couldn't move my neck. It was gnarly, but it was all part of what we signed up for. All in the fun that we decided to do.
Just banging our heads against a concrete wall.
But I will say, it's gotten like back when my first 4 years in the league, like you could have true wedges on kickoff return. So I'm linking arms with a offensive lineman.
Man, I was doing that all through college, up until last year in the league. He's like, holy smokes. And I remember in college specifically, I was like the shield on punt.
Mm-hmm.
You're literally just being the wall, taking the hit, just trying to brace. And I remember, like, fortunately, like towards the end, like when I was at CSU, particularly that last year I was at CSU, I remember like Coach Bo would have to be like, all right, like take it easy on the shield, like stop trying to kill him, like we need him for the game, like just get there and stop, like please stop teeing off, because it's just be, I mean, it's just like boom, 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 and it's like, what are we doing? Like this sucks. I can't even do anything about it.
But I mean, I used to get so pissed off because I'd be linked arms with a 330-pound guard who can run, and we're going in, and like you're climbing, like one of you guys is absorbing the hit while the other guy's working up to the safety,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm linked arms with this 330-pound dude, and he's giving me the brunt of the hit so he can climb to the safety. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, I'm the athletic one. You're the fat one.
Yeah,
You take this hit. Let me climb up and play delicate.
definitely. Oh man, or you'd get the like 280, 270-pound defensive ends that can run.
Yeah,
And
playing
they
twos.
got a 50-yard head start and just full head of steam. And you're like, oh crap, here we go. And that was actually how I got my first concussion. I got it at Carolina when we played Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I was concussed that whole game. I don't remember anything but a few plays. And it was, man, I was for opening kickoff, just got absolutely stoned by this dude, and I was just like, holy smokes. It was crazy.
My rule of thumb, whenever I got dinged when I was playing, which probably happened more than my wife would like for me to admit, was that if I saw stars and I was out of it, my rule of thumb is if I ever got back to the huddle and I had no idea what the quarterback was saying, then I would drop to a knee and be fine.
Yeah.
That happens 0 times. I would always I would be like lost, and then like a trigger were to happen. I was like,
yeah. Well, that was what happened to me. And so we had it was opening kickoff, and then we were starting in 21, that opening drive, and I was out there 3 plays in a row. And pretty much every play was like some fashion of, hey, like you're just stealing the edge, you're staying on the edge and, lining up on one side and just staying there. Or I was like, hey, you got a little flat route, something very basic. And I remember like I screwed up one of them, and one of them it was like one where it was like you're just running to the flat, like you're just kind of pulling it back or trying to pull somebody. And then I remember going to the huddle and asking my running back coach, I was like, can you give me the script? And I was looking at the script, and I'm like, dude, this looks like a foreign language. Like, what in the world is this? And then I was like, dude, and then I was like, all right, like, just give it a second. Like, if it doesn't come back, then I'm gonna say something. And then I remember we were sitting there, and then I remember looking up at the scoreboard, and I'm like, holy crap, it's 21-0 already. And then I was like, hey, give me that script again. And I'm like, if I'm really out of it still, like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I pulled up and looked at it, and it was like starting to come back, like it started triggering back, and I was like, all right, like I'm okay. And then I ended up playing the rest of the game, but I was so adamant about playing because it was senior night, and my mom and brother had come out, and that was the first game they had been to. So I was like, I can't go out and be hurt. Like, this is the first game, against Georgia. Like, I got to finish this. And I ended up, being fine. And, and I remember going in and talking to Clint, the head trainer that next day. And I was like, hey, I'm pretty sure I was concussed yesterday. I was like, I told him what happened. He's like, Adam, I respect the hell out of you, but do not ever do that again. And I was like, sir, I understand. Like, so I went and talked to the trainers. I ended up being good for the next week. But I was like, that was as bad as it got.
Yeah, because that was protocol. Protocol was supposed to be 6 days to get cleared or whatever. I had a similar thing. I hit when I was in Buffalo. We were playing New England, and I hit Jamie Collins and had no idea where I was for probably 20 seconds afterwards, and ran over to the sideline. And I thought I had we played on turf, so I thought I had a black pebble on the top half of my eye because top half of my eye was just like black. Whoa. I could see everything out the bottom of my eye. And so I'm like, give me the water. I need to squirt this little pebble out of my eye. And I sat down, was talking to the trainer, and they're like, Pat, there's nothing in your eye right now. Did you take a hit? They're like, do you think you had a concussion? And I was like, no, leave me alone. I threw the water bottle down and I ran back in the game. And I got home that night, and Kirsten's like, you are off. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, you're a space cadet. And I was like, I took a hit and like kind of not really feeling myself. She's like, you need to promise that you'll disclose when you get to the training room first thing on Monday. I didn't. So we go through all meetings, and I'm fine. And one of the coaches mentioned something like, Pat, you like second half of the game, like you just weren't your typical self. And Kirsten texted me again right after that meeting. He was like, did you talk to the trainers yet? So I went in and I disclosed, and immediately they're like, well, like, since you didn't tell us yesterday when we asked you, like, you're going to have to miss this game because it's a 6-day protocol. You're not going to get cleared until Sunday. And I was like, bullshit. I told you yesterday. You screwed this up. I'm playing on Sunday. So they expedited. I mean, I might get them in trouble, but they expedited my process one day. So I was able to play on Sunday. Yeah. Same thing, just an idiot being an idiot.
Yeah, it's just a fine line of trying to be tough and, not being an idiot. But yeah, that head stuff is not something to mess with.
Yeah.
But fortunately, the equipment has gotten progressively better since we both started playing, but
Yeah.
still not a perfect science.
Yeah. It's a lot of those guys wear that little collar. Do you wear that thing?
I've never tried that. I don't know. I've asked about it before, and I know it's not. They haven't like kind of had a widespread distribution of it because it's not really like a what is it? Not a
Scientifically proven or something.
yeah. It's not like some kind of sanctioned thing or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know guys have worn it on their own, and I don't really understand the logic or science behind it. But
How is the you're going into year 5? How is the like South Carolina alumni base in the NFL? I remember after every single game, I'd always link up with somebody that played at Carolina and take a picture or do a jersey swap.
yeah, I'd say it's. I'd say my knowledge is a little smaller just because I was only there for a year, so I was only really familiar with the guys I was with. But so Marshawn, you got Xavier Legette in Carolina. Gosh dang it.
J.C. Horn.
JC, and then there's a gosh dang it, blanking. He plays for Wanham. I wasn't there with Wanham, but he plays for Green Bay as a linebacker. Anagbre, Kings.
Yeah. JJ.
He's on JJ. Yeah, JJ Anagbre. Yeah, JJ. Ernest Jones.
Yep. So if we bring up names, like obviously you probably know who Jadeveon Clowney is.
Yeah, so I played against him. I knew that he was a Carolina guy, and obviously my only knowledge of him before
was the hit.
I got there was the hit.
Knocked somebody's head off.
Yeah,
dude, he bent me over a guard on power. We played them when he was in Houston. It was like his second or third year, and like he was. Like he's an on-off switch guy. Like if you catch him when he's off switch, like you can get him. But if he wants to play that play, like good luck.
Yeah.
And I caught him on an off play, and he was like, "Oh, Gamecock, that's how you're gonna do me." And I'm like, "Fuck me."
Yeah, here we go.
So we ran power, and I go to kick him out, and he like tight end disappears, and he just sprints and meets me like damn near in the B gap. The guard's pulling behind me, and he just like folds me right over the guard.
Power is like I have such a love-hate with power. Power is one of my favorite plays, but also it can really suck depending on who it's with.
If you can get him on your outside shoulder and keep him on your outside shoulder and have your back foot down.
Yep, that's it. Like it's really you just gotta be inside out and seal him out, and because you should be hitting it either front A gap or backside A gap.
Yep.
Like as long as there's not some other crap going on in there and it's not bouncing, then should be good. But man, like you said, though, you catch somebody in the wrong time, like you're gonna pay for it.
You just finished playing in Kubiak's system. What was your favorite play in that system?
Ooh,
from a fullback standpoint.
I'd say probably outside zone because the way we ran it was a lot different than how I had ran it before. So ours was the way we were coached, and all our run stuff is you're trying to capture the outside shoulder because the ball is outside of you. It's true wide zone. Where I was used to in the previous system, you're trying to get inside out and pry this guy out for your outside zone. So that running that outside zone was a lot of fun because
just let your hat go.
Yeah, and I was able to feel that stretch. And I was able to force a stretch, and so I watched a lot of use check tape.
He's a stud.
Yeah, he is. So I watched a lot of his tape and watched just how he would play with backers and stretch as basically to the last possible second he could, and then square him up and capture the outside shoulder and just run his feet, and there they go. So I think that was fun because I started to get that feel of, okay, this is it, right about it. All right, boom, go. And so that was fun being able to take it that way.
So that was forced. Did you guys run any Zorro?
We ran Zorro. Those were fun.
Against 3 fullbackers, yeah.
Yeah. Ran Zorro.
Steven, you'd like Zorro, Steven. It was basically it's like outside zone, but it frees up the tight end to let his hat go. So it
Yeah.
tells
Oh,
the
shit.
tight end he can go super wide because the D end or the outside backer is going to adjust him because he's a
Yeah.
contained
I
player.
think my favorite way to run Zorro is when we be in like I don't know, we called it dolphin, like that kind of, the two guys
Oh
in the
yeah,
dip on your
are you
side.
motioning?
We'd send a fly motion or a
Oh
jet
god,
motion, and you're just full speed. And you always had, the tight end or whoever's on the ball always had, the outside shoulder to start with, and they're, the motion guy or whoever's inside had the inside guy, and you basically just that guy spiked, the inside you got to take him over, whatever. So you're just coming like a bat out of hell, just waiting for something to hit you in the face,
yeah.
and then just tag teaming them to whoever, and it's force or the corner. But man, you're just flying, knowing that all right, I got help. Like I'm just gonna throw my body out there and then adjust as it happens. But yeah, no,
I used
that offense was so much fun because we'd have. I mean, if you really boiled it down, there was really only a handful of plays, but
mm,
we
do
had
them
so
so many
many
different ways.
variations and so many different ways to block it with different adjustments for different fronts that it evolved into so many different plays. But it's really
Yeah.
the same premise over and over again.
Did you run man and split and those type of tight zone plays?
I did with Coach Payton in
Yeah.
that system.
See, I enjoyed split, which was a weak zone action play. Fullback goes strong side,
Yep.
halfback goes weak side on tight action. So the mic is always kind of taking flow. So you're fitting in the gap off of him. Obviously, it's gap integrity from a defensive standpoint. So like you're just fitting the gap that's open, and
Yep.
eventually he's got to fall back to you. So you're kind of skimming off of it and just kind of meeting him on the backside of things. And that's
Yeah.
why I'm sure you've heard it a million times, but like why you try to teach young backs like press the hole, press the hole, press the line of scrimmage. Because you start winding back right away, the whole defense is going to adjust to it. But if you keep pressing the line of scrimmage, you're setting up everybody's blocks. You're just going to roll right off of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I play. I think we did. We did
He was like, "Give me draw 2 mils, please. Shut up,
That's
guys."
that's all. That's all I want to hear. All this Zorro and other shit is above my pay grade.
Hey, you'd love past 15-week Z drift or X drift. I
Yes.
mean, it's the easiest completion you could possibly have. Or we would even run. I don't know if you had like now routes built into your system, but Kyle had now routes with Julio on the backside.
Yeah.
We'd run like 18 force, and if Matt would see the will linebacker start to cheat over or start to buzz strong side,
Yeah.
like he would pull up and Julio, or sorry, it was a dart, and Julio would just run
Yeah,
like a one-step dart. So Matt would come take 1-2 and then just open up and flip it backside.
Oh,
Julio
yeah.
would catch a 2-yard pass and take it 30.
Yeah, we had a few of those, and then what was it? We had a protection where it was like I was going weak, blocking that DN and running. We had like a dart or some kind of quick slant on the backside, and they were just like, I want you to go cut the crap out of this dude and just get his hands down. And so I just go cut, and we throw it right after the cut and just take off. Those are the best. Some of those quick ones where it's like, all right, just get out of the way and go get this guy's hands down and get him on his face, and then let everybody else do their deal.
Yeah, it's all right. Well, that last one, like, do you know fullback history at all? Like, are you a fullback guru?
I don't know. What's your question? We'll see. I'd say
Like,
pretty
if you had to make a Mount Rushmore of fullbacks, who would they be?
Oh, I think you definitely got to have Allstott on there.
Yeah,
Lorenzo Neal.
yeah.
Tolbert's got to be up there.
Yeah, the bulldozer, bulldozer, what they used to call him.
Obviously, Juszczyk, because but I'm thinking guys that aren't playing anymore.
Juszczyk has kind of changed the game though in a way. Like he's 6'3", 250, probably runs 4.5. Like he can freaking roll.
Yeah,
Play tight end.
I
remember I was a little butthurt because obviously I played for Kyle in Atlanta, and then when Kyle got the head job, I was like, oh, I just came off a Pro Bowl year, played in the Super Bowl. Like, I'm definitely going to San Fran. And they signed Juszczyk and paid him a lot more money than they paid me. And then I watched a couple tapes of him, a couple of his games, and I'm like, I get it. He's worth the money. No hard feelings.
It was crazy, like watching, when he was in Baltimore, and then we went to San Fran. Like, just I felt like he leaned out a lot, like from
Yeah.
Baltimore to San Fran, like just changed that, like that dynamic of what he was doing was a lot different. I mean, he's still a great player both places, but just watching that, just kind of that position evolve from that
Yeah.
transition was wild.
I saw you. You had a question here about the food in New Orleans. I mean, is it?
Oh
I've been to
man,
New Orleans 3 times, and they were for bachelor parties.
yeah.
And so, yeah, we got got after it
Dude,
pretty good. Didn't really get to enjoy as much of the kind of history. I like a lot of history, so didn't really get a chance to experience a whole lot of that just because we were just in bachelor party mode. But
yeah,
yeah, kind of just talk about New Orleans and like your experience off the field.
man, that is one of the most special cities. Just culture, just people, food, and like I was kind of talking about, a place that's got to deal with this hurricanes as bad as they've had them, and just how resilient that city is, and that fan base. Like that is one of the few places that I've been to that where it's Saints 365, like 24/7. It's always about the Saints, and the Saints are the lifeblood of that city. When the Saints are winning, the city's winning.
Mm.
Um, and it's just such a special place. And going to the food, like, oh my, I've never been around so much good food. I have a list on. I started making a list on my phone probably a few years ago when I first got there, and just from hearing from different guys and people just telling me, "Hey, you gotta try this, you gotta try that," and I have it broken down by different types of food and all these restaurants, and I started grading them as I went. And last year my wife was out there with me. We would every week. I was like, "All right, we're going to a new place. Let's go." And then we got married out there in February in New Orleans, and man, just to be able to experience a wedding in New Orleans, and it's like no other. Just it's such a unique place, and it's a place that'll forever be special in our hearts. And
Yeah.
I'm grateful that I was there, especially because I wouldn't say that New Orleans was a place like if I wasn't playing football that I would have gone there to live.
Mhm.
Uh, but having lived there, you're kind of forced to just embrace everything and find things to do and places to eat, and talk to all these people. And that was so those 4 years are some of the best 4 years that I've had playing and just being a part of a city and that culture. Like it's just so much fun. Walking in that Superdome and hearing them chants, and as
Yeah,
you
that
know,
place is loud as hell. What is the song like? Stand up and get
oh
crunk
yeah,
is what they
like,
play
I
like
tell everybody,
all the time. Oh,
anytime somebody new was coming to the game that had never been to the Super Bowl, I mean to the Superdome, I was like, it's a club. You're going to a club, and there happens to be a football game going on. Like they
yeah.
it is awesome.
It was I mean, my
It's
4 years in Atlanta, that was my favorite. My favorite away game to go play was in New Orleans. It was hostile. It was like everything you want in like a true rivalry.
Heck yeah, yeah. I mean, just the who dat chants before the game. Like, oh man, it's just running out in the tunnel. Like it was cool, really cool, really special.
All right, well, here we go. Tell Gamecock Nation kind of where you're living at now. Tell them I know you're a free agent. You're going to sign somewhere here right after Thanksgiving, hopefully, or before, however you want to work it out.
Yeah,
But tell kind of Carolina what you're up to now.
yeah. So I'm living in Wyoming. Just getting ready for year 5. I got married in February. We got our first kid on the way. We're waiting to find out boy or girl, so that'll be a surprise. So
Awesome.
right now the due date is Thanksgiving Day, and I will say if this is a boy, we probably have a fullback growing because this kid is. We're like what 5, just a little over 5 months,
Yep,
and this kid is already over a pound, about 12 inches.
off the charts
And
already.
about 99 is 99.99 percentile. And so this kid is going to be a beast, regardless of boy or girl. But if it's a boy, we probably got a next fullback coming.
Yeah, we'll have to preserve the position.
Yes,
Keep
so
keeping
gotta make
Kyle
it last
Shanahan people in the NFL.
yeah, we got to make it last for another couple decades.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I'm still just hanging out and staying ready and working out and enjoying the family time and getting ready to be a new dad.
Yeah, there is a lot of I mean, yeah, going into year 5, like it starts to become a grind once you finish
yeah.
up your rookie deal. So I know you're really taking advantage of this time and spending some extra time with your wife and being able to be there for all the doctor's appointments and
Yep.
just being present. I mean, I don't think many people like you look at an NFL player and a contract, and yeah, you're making a boatload of money. but there's a lot of sacrifices that come with it. Like, I don't know if your wife was in New Orleans with you the whole time or if she was traveling back and forth. There's a lot of time apart, especially when the baby comes. Like, you're going to be separate for a decent amount of time. So soak up this time while you can and keep training. I know you will. And I mean, it's not the worst thing to miss training camp. It's not.
It's not. And who knows? Like, maybe God's protecting me from some injury that would have happened, or something that was nagging or that I didn't know about that you would have got aggravated. Like, who knows? Like, it's all working out how it's supposed to, and it'll be good.
That was Steven's whole process with spring ball. Steven was at Carolina for 5 years and he had 0 spring balls.
Man, just one spring game. I played in
just one.
Just one.
I should have talked to you and figured that out. Man,
it was no. My experience was way worse. I wish I would have played.
It wasn't by choice. It wasn't by choice.
No, I didn't.
Especially in Carolina with that humidity. That humidity is no joke. That was one thing that I was grateful for, is that I had experienced that a little bit before I went to New Orleans, because Carolina's bad, New Orleans is worse. The humidity,
geez, no way,
unbearable. But
I mean, at least there's a breeze in New Orleans, though.
I guess sometimes it's hot though. It's not a cool breeze necessarily.
There's no place on earth
coming off the river.
Columbia is the hottest place on earth, and that's coming from a guy that lives in Tampa, Florida.
I mean, I don't know. We'd have OTA practices last year, and it'd be 10 a.m. We were going on the field, and it was 80 degrees, 100% humidity, and you're just losing 5-6 pounds of water weight. And it was brutal. Like, you're sloshing in cleats, swapping gloves, trying to stay dry for the most part.
The dog days of summer. Nothing like that.
Those are the special times. You start looking back on that stuff. That's the stuff you miss.
But no, dude, appreciate you taking the time today. Good luck with kind of the rest of summer and continuing training, and hopefully you get signed here sometime soon. But if not, really cherish the time with your wife and getting ready for the little baby. Sleep while you can. That's my piece of advice.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm going to be soaking that up as much as I can. Sweet. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me, and I'm excited to watch the Gamecocks this year. It's been fun, keeping up with them the last couple of years, and man, let's make it run. Let's do it.
Yeah. Shit, last year we were so stinking close.
Gosh, man, that was fun to watch, but so close.
I mean, I got to add it to finish, but viva la fullback.
Yes.
Keep her around, baby. Keep her around.
Absolutely. Somebody's got to do it. We got to start training the next generations.
Yeah. I mean, I should start. Steven, you think there's an economy for fullback training in Columbia, South Carolina?
Try it.
Think I'll make $30 a week?
Maybe go talk to Coach Beamer and see if we can get one added.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Dude, appreciate you joining us. Best of luck with everything. Stay in touch. And enjoy that weather out west.
Yeah, I will. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate you.
See ya.